Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're examining a fallacy that's as precarious as its name suggests, the slippery slope. The slippery slope fallacy is a logical error where someone claims that a relatively small first step will inevitably lead to a chain of related events, often resulting in a significant and usually undesirable effect. It's rather like suggesting that learning to ride a bicycle will inevitably result in one competing in the Tour de France, while wearing a beret and munching on a baguette naturally. This fallacy often takes the form of, if A happens, then B will happen. If B happens, then C will happen. And so on, until we reach a final, often catastrophic outcome. The error lies in assuming this chain of events is inevitable, when in reality each step may not necessarily lead to the next. Let's consider an example. A parent might argue, if we let our teenager stay out until 10 p.m, soon they'll be staying out until midnight. Then they'll start skipping school, fall in with a bad crowd, and end up living under a bridge. While parental concern is understandable, this dire prediction assumes a certainty of escalation that simply isn't logical. Unless, of course, bridges have suddenly become prime real estate for former honours students. In politics, the slippery slope is often employed to resist change. One might hear arguments like, if we implement even minor gun control laws, it's only a matter of time before all weapons are banned and we're living in a totalitarian state. This argument neatly sidesteps the actual issue at hand, sliding down a slope of hypotheticals faster than a greased-up toboggan. The slippery slope can rear its head in personal decisions too. If I skip my run today, I'll probably skip tomorrow too. Then I'll stop exercising altogether, gain 50 pounds and end up unable to climb a flight of stairs without breaking a sweat. While consistency in exercise is admirable, one missed jog is unlikely to send one careening into a life of sedentary doom. In technological debates, we often hear slippery slope arguments. If we allow artificial intelligence in smartphones, soon robots will be running our governments and enslaving humanity. While AI governance is a serious topic, this argument leaps to conclusions faster than a kangaroo on a pogo stick. So how can we avoid tumbling down this logical slope? Firstly, when presented with a chain of consequences, examine each link critically. Is each step truly inevitable, or are there other possible outcomes? Remember, life is rarely as linear as a game of dominoes. Secondly, look for evidence supporting the suggested chain of events. Has this progression occurred in similar situations, or is it merely speculation? History can be informative, but it's not always prescient. Lastly, consider the possibility of moderating factors. What safeguards or interventions could prevent the proposed negative outcomes? Life often has more guardrails than these arguments suggest. In conclusion, recognizing the slippery slope fallacy helps us evaluate arguments more critically and avoid unnecessary panic over hypothetical future events. It allows us to address current issues without being paralyzed by fear of improbable outcomes. After all, life's journey is more often a winding path than a steep descent. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. I hope this exploration of the slippery slope fallacy has given you sure footing in your logical endeavours. Until next time, keep your arguments level-headed and your slopes well-gritted. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by thepodcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com.